Today's read aloud is Fly Guy Presents Insects. I picked this book because I thought it'd be a really good time for you to learn a little bit more about insects. And usually in the spring, there's a lot of insects and bugs that start coming back to life or just showing up. So let's learn a little bit about insects. Sorry, sometimes my fingers don't do a good job of turning the pages. It takes me a while. A boy had a pet named Fly Guy. Fly Guy could say the boy's name, Buzz. Buzz and Fly Guy were outside. Fly Guy wanted to look for insects. Buzz was a little worried. Some insects are scary, he said. Flies. I know, Fly Guy. You're an insect, said Buzz, and you're not scary. I have nothing to be afraid of. They set off to discover more. The Tangly Woods Nature Trail. There are more than 1 million different kinds of insects. Insects live all over the world. They live on every continent, even Antarctica. If you remember the 7 continents, there they are. Many people call insects bugs, but not all insects are bugs. A bug is a kind of insect. Bugs have a mouth shaped like a straw. True bugs include milkweed bugs, box elder bugs, and stink bugs. Insects have been on Earth for hundreds of millions of years. They crawled and buzzed around even before dinosaurs. Long ago, insects were much bigger than they are today. A giant dragonfly wing stretched over 2 feet long. That's the same wingspan as an Arctic puffin. At the bottom it says Arthropleura was like a giant centipede. It was 6 feet long. That's the average length of a lion. That's about how tall I am, 6 feet. That's a big caterpillar or centipede. All insects have a life cycle. A life cycle is made up of the changes that happen to the insect from the beginning of its life until it dies. Most insects hatch from eggs. The insect grows into a larvae. Fly larvae are called maggots. Larvae molt or get rid of their old skin to grow bigger. I use those for fishing. They catch big fish. Next, the insects become a pupa. The pupa hides in a shell or cocoon. There, it changes into an adult. This is called metamorphosis. So as you can see in that picture, it changes from an egg to a larvae to a pupa to an adult. And some insects, such as aphids, give birth to live young. They're born alive. A lifespan is the amount of time that creatures live. Insects do not have all the same lifespan. Adult mayflies may live for only 1 or 2 nights. And mayflies you'll see sometimes on the lakes. Some lakes have a mayfly hatch where all the mayflies hatch, and there's a lot of them on the water. Some insects, such as a queen ant, can live for up to 30 years. I did not know that. I wonder if there's ants out right now. I haven't really been checking. You should do that. See if there's any ants outside. Insects have cool bodies. Mammals, like humans, have bones on the inside, but insects wear their hard parts on the outside. This is called an exoskeleton. An insect's body is made up of 3 parts: the head, the thorax, and the abdomen. So if we zoom in closer, the head, the thorax, and the abdomen of a wasp. The head is where the eyes, mouth parts, and antennae are found. Antennas help insects taste, smell, touch, and even hear. The thorax is the middle part of an insect. It holds the legs. All insects have 6 legs. The thorax also holds the wings, if the insect has them. The abdomen holds the insect's stomach. If the insect has a stinger, it's found here. And then it says spiders have 8 legs. They are not insects. Insects such as wasps, hornets, and some ants have stingers. Most of them use their stingers to protect themselves. Honeybees die after they use their stinger, and some wasps use their stingers to catch food. Usually, insects do not sting humans, but some insects will when they think they are in danger. For most people, insect stings are simply annoying and slightly painful or itchy, but some people are allergic to insect stings. They should seek medical care right away. So there's a cool picture of a bullet ant stinger. There's kind of a close-up of a hornet, and at the bottom is a red ant ready to sting. Yikes. Not all insects eat the same food. Many insects munch on plants. Butterflies eat nectar from flowers. Other insects, such as mosquitoes, eat blood. To avoid bites, wear long sleeve and pants, and use insect repellent when outdoors. Insects such as cockroaches and ants eat almost anything, even crumbs on the floor. Fly guy, that's gross! Munch. There's fly guy. Insects also have different ways of eating. Some insects, like grasshoppers and caterpillars, chew their food. Other insects suck it up using a special body part called a proboscis. Mosquitoes suck food up like they're drinking through a straw. The straw is a proboscis. It's a little blurry, but it's the mosquito proboscis. Some insects seem to have superpowers. There are insects that can glow. This is called bioluminescence. Fireflies, or also called lightning bugs, are not really flies or bugs. They're beetles. They have special chemicals in their abdomens. When the chemicals meet oxygen, that's in the air, the fireflies' abdomens light up. Fireflies use their lights to help find other fireflies. They also light up to warn animals not to eat them. The glowing chemicals taste bad. There are insects that can survive underwater, and some can live in very hot deserts. So I think it might be a little too early for fireflies to be out, but tonight or some point this week, I want you to take a step outside when it gets dark and see if you find any fireflies. I think it's going to be too early, but I'm not sure. I want you guys to check on me to see if there are fireflies out. You'll see them because they have little short bursts that look fluorescent yellow. They're really, really cool. You can also catch them and put them in a jar and they'll glow up and they'll stay there. So if you can catch one, that'd be even more cool. The world is full of amazing insects. Fairy flies are the smallest insect on Earth. These wasps can only be seen under a microscope. The longest insect is the Chan's megastick. It's 22 inches long. And harvester ants are the most poisonous insect on the planet. So here's a peek at the harvester insect. In the air, the southern giant dragonfly is the speediest insect. It can fly as fast as a car going 35 miles an hour. On land, the speed record goes to the cockroach. Cockroaches can run at about 3.5 miles per hour. Cockroaches are tough. They can live for days without a head. Didn't know that. Flies are awesome insects. There are 120,000 species of flies. All flies are in the order Diptera, and a person who studies or collects flies is called a dipterist. Flies' eyes are special. They have compound eyes. Compound eyes are not good for seeing far away, but they're great at detecting movement. So then it says, compound eyes have many different lenses to see out of. Each eye can have up to 30,000 different lenses. And this picture at the bottom says what flies can see. Interesting. If something gets close, a fly can plan an escape route in less than 1 second. Well, that's probably why they're hard to slap, aren't they? Most flies don't bite animals, but some flies, like deer flies and horseflies, do. They drink blood. Flies sleep a lot. They sleep between 9 and 15 hours each night. And then his fact is a fly's wings beat 200 times per second. Scientists who study insects are called entomologists. Entomologists sometimes go on expeditions or special trips to look for insects. They study insects where they live, and they live everywhere. Insects live in treetops, in hot deserts, underground, on animals, and even in frozen Antarctica. In jars too. Millions of insects live in tropical rainforests. Most of them live in the canopy layer, or the tops of trees. As many as 1,000 different types of insects have been found in just one tree in a rainforest canopy. Insects are good for the world. They are part of the food chain. They eat plants and other insects, and they can be food for other animals too. People can eat insects. In Thailand, grasshoppers make a tasty snack. And fancy restaurants in Mexico serve ant eggs. Insects are important to us. Plants wouldn't be able to grow without them. When insects such as bees and butterflies land on flowers, they pollinate them. Only then can fruits and vegetables grow. I'm not sure I'd want to go to a restaurant and eat ant eggs or grasshoppers. Would you? Insects are great, said Buzz. I didn't know they were so amazing. Now, Buzz knew for sure that Fly Guy was the coolest pet on the planet. Buzz and Fly Guys couldn't wait for their next adventure. Thanks for listening today. In the comments, I want you to first of all let me know what was your favorite insect in the book, what was one thing you learned, and then your challenge is I want you to go outside and I want you to find some insects. If you could take pictures of them, that'd be great, and post them in the comments, or just look at them, put them in a jar, make a little habitat for them. That'd be pretty cool. So go see what insects you can find, and you also could look them up too and learn more about them. So that's your project with this book.